Hello and a warm welcome to each and every one of you. To those of you who are returning, most welcome, and all those who are new to my channel and the way I work. I channel the whole thing. That is, I have no agenda before I begin. I hand everything over to my spirit, and this is my soul sitting within Source. And the osmosis of your requirements then filters from your soul to my soul directly in Source, and so therefore guides what cards are pulled and where we go from here. And just to say that I have removed one of the cards within this gateway oracle because it did not resonate of a sufficient resonancy to be able to be included within the readings that I am channeling. So just to let you know, it has been sort of removed. So the apology for being in there doesn't need to come about should it filter up through. It lowers the level of the energy of the remaining cards. But the rest of the cards are the ones that Spirit want to work with, and it is on their behest that it was removed from the card pack. And just a little bit more on the course that I am preparing. It is a series of courses that is virtually the one course that will float through, and we are working not from the normal traditional way of having notes, but by having an oracle, and I'm working on the entire oracle guidance that is required. And this used to be an old way before the word became more powerful than the light, the dropping into the sound. And it appears that there is far more power in the oracle, in the cards, than there can be in just a script to follow, which I do not possess the training of the education system to be able to get into that, because it's too low a vibration to what needs to be brought through by directly from Source through to you. And for those of you who want to be part of the course or know when the course comes about, please do sign up for the Etmir news. Details are below on how to request joining the mailing list. And I've been working all weekend on the next Etmir news to come out. They come out with the new moon. And what they are now saying for me to do is to talk about the eclipses. Now, we've just had an eclipse of quite powerful proportions, because with the eclipse season it will reflect the ones that came earlier in the year, the ones in January. So it's like it takes us through a pathway of inner revelations, and by coming to this set 6 months on, it is still dealing with matters that we had in this January. And they're also saying going back 3 years prior to this year. So the energies that have been bubbling up over the last 3 years has great significance in our life today, and it's all about your inner journey. And when the eclipse, when you have the shadow, the dark, the part that's blocked out, that you see within the inner world, you can get very, very deep revelations and understanding that become like epiphany moments, releasing what your subconscious knows into your conscious knowing. And we've just gone through the first one, and they are saying that it is advisable to sit within what has been released, what we understand, and not to blindly dash out into the world and implement them, because it needs action, it will need action, but at the moment it's understanding the nature of the action, and that you have done a true understanding and clearing of where you keep recycling over and over and over again and not addressing the areas that need addressing within your life. And they are also going on to say that we will be having another eclipse. We have this moon eclipse, there's a sun eclipse, and then there will be another eclipse thereafter, or I may have them back to front. But there's 3 eclipses, with the main one which is coming up, which is so powerful because it is highlighting but being sandwiched between the other 2 eclipses in order to be able to really assure that you have got the message. So it may feel heavy, it may feel absolutely blinding, the information that comes, but your soul knows that this is what you need to be able to stop you from in cycles, cycling emotion of going over and over and over and again, rather than the releasing and stepping away from it. So this is still a time of pondering and understanding, and more revelations to come to you with these 2 remaining eclipses. And also there is the retrogrades. I think this year there's a total of 7 retrogrades, and this again enhances the cycling back over old territory, old ground, with the what you now know from the eclipse, that you can now say, I've got this understanding, it's come up from my subconscious, let's recycle back over and understand where it is that we have stepped off our path of our own inner truth. It is a journey not to be hurried. It is a journey not to be feared, and one that we certainly do not beat ourselves up about. It just was. It just is. It was the nature of the time, and you were going through your life without having reached this gateway of understanding. So although you did well in that time with the second set of circumstances, what is now happening is that you can understand that to give yourself a pat on the back and to walk away from it, because you were living another person's dream, another consciousness of dreaming or unconsciousness. It was not your dream, that you were trying to ply yourself into somebody else's dreams, and this could either be the collective dream of the time, or the giving yourself to friends, family, that sort of situation. Each one, you now know by the time you come through the remainder of this and the rest of the year exactly what it is that was pulling you off your correct path, your truth of who you are. And they're showing me now the Sagittarius arrow, that your true north has been tampered with, so that you feel as though you're aiming directly, but the actual fact the magnetics have ensured that you would never hit your target. But now is the time to understand that your pathway is assured, and it is part of the divine plan that we have, many of us have got to this point where we can reassess where it is that we are stepping out into the world, and then gradually to implement what it is that we now know. Do not be in fear, and this often happens when you understand the fear, understand what it is that has been pulling you off your direction. No fear, absolutely no fear. It's your inner guidance, will know how to navigate your pathway forward. And I'm not going to say it's easy. That would be very foolish to say that this journey is easy. But you have inner strength and many, many ancestral beings and soul beings of your best interest, your higher vibration, that will walk with you as you take your direct pathway away from the course that has been leading you astray. And this can come in many, many forms. Can be within the business front, it can be within just the knowing, accepting your own inner knowledge, inner wisdom, to be purely who you are, and not to be taken off course by another entity in the form of a human being or social pressure that comes in many, many forms from many different people. Take what resonates with you, and what doesn't is not meant for you. It belongs to somebody else, because this is a general reading and not a personal reading. I don't do personal readings because my energies are going into the course for you to discover your own way forward. So without further ado, they tend to shuffle the cards, which I have done just prior to starting recording, and we will see what these energies. These cards will remain the same all week. So the message will overflow day by day by day, and you may find as though several of the cards will keep repeating itself. That means to say areas that may need to be gone over and readjust again. So we will take the first card and see what it brings us. And we start with stepping into stillness. My power is born in the majesty of silence. And through this eclipse that we have been through, and we are now stepping past the eclipse, the events happened, and it's time to be within the stillness to understand what it is you now know. It's no good just blindly rushing out the door, so to speak, in a new direction. You need to integrate what you have learnt within your greater soul and with your heart center. Allow your heart center to process this, and from the processing of this information, it will then rise up into your mind. This is just purely a communication center. That's all it was ever designed as, in order to be able to communicate. But people no longer communicate from the heart, and so they have lost such a valuable asset in their own deliverance of what it is that their soul has delivered to them. So it's important to step into your silence as you go about your daily business, your daily tasks, whatever that may be. It's important, but you need to understand and have conversations with your inner child, sitting and through your inner heart center. We will go on to the next card because that's quite following on what the message that they have delivered through. And it says, coming into power, I step into my power boldly and confidently. And having done the work into your stillness to absorb what it is that you now know, that this first eclipse of this season, the first three, has revealed to you, and you have embedded them within your thoughts, your mind, with the blessings of your heart center, and you begin to understand the picture of you and your gift to humanity and being able to step back onto your own course. You are following your North Star. Your North Star is your true north, not your perceived north that has done great damage over many, many lifetimes. This is a time to understand that you have the power, by just being, to set yourself free from all the struggles. And as you come into it says, coming into your power, I step into my power boldly and confidently. And as you understand the true power of who you are, and allow your soul to shine out through your human body, you will be able to harness the true power of who you are. You are very, very powerful, and you have been fearful over millennia, many, many lifetimes, of showing your power, because pain would have been inflicted on you, even death, torture. This is what you've been through, and this is why it's important for you to understand the journey of what you have done and gone through to be able to be here. Be proud of your journey, even though they may not sit well within you self. You had courage and you had strength to be able to be here at this most powerful time of awakening, to be able to be you, and by you stepping into your power, you can be the light for humanity to follow you boldly and confidently also, because you extrude your power, your boldness, your confidence, because your soul is going to give you that absolute heightened power of you. They're saying to leave that with you for today, and we'll go over to the divine directions and see what they're talking about. Countermeasures, taking countermeasures to bring your arrow back to your true north. This is what you're contemplating on today. It's a day of contemplation. There's much to be done, but it's about contemplation of what you now know, and that's important. Oh, they said, look on the bottom. It's time to learn skills. It's time to learn some new skills, study a course, or start a new hobby. And this is because what has actually happened is, by going through this eclipse, and most people dread eclipses because they can be quite harrowing and revealing, you are now in a position that you can start to think, what I have been doing doesn't really align with me. It does not align with what I want to do. It's not my true north. What I've actually been doing is what other people or society or your peers have been saying, this is what you need to do. And it is a time for withdrawing within the soul and to consider what no longer serves you, what does serve you, and so therefore it would be good to take it to the next stage. You have already followed through to a certain level, but it is time to actually take it through to a higher expansion of what it is, your skill, your new skill that you have over the many, many years either been too busy, or family commitments, or society commitments, or life just wasn't kind to you, to stop you from going your true north into learning who you truly are. I will leave that one with you for today. It's a food for thought day, going in and assessing what it is that you've actually assimilated now from this powerful eclipse. But you still have 2 more to go. One in 2 weeks and another one roughly in 2 weeks again after that, the 3, which is quite rare in itself. So you're going to get more information to clarify where you have been at, and the last set of eclipses, which is back in January, is all part of your understanding as to where you are going to come into your full power to be the light of the world. Okay, I'm to leave that one there, just to say that for those of you who want to go on to the expanded reading, this will be over on the YouTube channel only, which is Etmir Balance Beyond Time. And for those of you who are departing, may